Hello, my name is Richard Cronice, and I am the Shoshin Guitarist. I hope you go to shoshinguitarist.com, S-H-O-S-H-I-N guitarist.com, to visit and leave a comment. I hope you like and subscribe to this. But I have less than 2 minutes to teach you something really useful about stringing a guitar. Can you really call yourself a guitarist if you can't string your own guitar? Well, finally, after almost 3 years, I strung my own guitar. And the two most important things I can teach you is, one, wear safety glasses. These are not safety glasses. While I was doing this, I thought, my goodness, these strings could snap in my face. I could have a really bad day, and I wished I had had safety glasses. So get safety glasses. The second thing is all about technique when you string. Now, this is the most important thing in the video, aside from safety glasses, that when you string a string, and I normally go, I did the low one first, that you bring your string and you put it through the nut and you put it through your lined up tuning machine. Now, the important thing is, if you can see this, is how much length do you give yourself for stringing this. So you pull it through here, it's taut, and then what you do is you grab it by the nut right there and you pull back to the first fret, and then you crimp up. So what you've done is given yourself a fret worth of string to do your ties. Once again, taut, pull it through, pull it back 1 fret. It's a perfect measurement. Crimp up, hold your thumb down, and wind. When you do this, what happens is that, as a rule, you will get 3 perfect wraps on your bass side, and I think you'll get 2 perfect wraps on the treble side. And that's the most important thing I can teach you in this video. You can turn it off now, but I hope you stick around so I can teach you some other stuff. Again, stringing your first guitar is like changing your car's oil the first time. It was really empowering. It's a magical feeling. I don't know what I can tell you, for ladies, how magical it is, but I'm sure you have something that is similar also. So I strung the guitar, and it's great. Now it sounds like this. Not perfect. I'm using a Bluetooth, a Blue Yeti Professional. It doesn't quite capture the guitar. So let's get into some of this. There may be better videos on YouTube regarding the whole thing of stringing a guitar, but I've already taught you the 2 most important things. Wear safety glasses, and secondly, pull back the string 1 fret worth, and then you'll be much better when you tie off the string. So a couple of things. For further research, if you want to know how to do this really well, I recommend that you, and this will be in the description, that you look up Rhett Shulls and Luthier Ben Calhoun. They did a video that was called Pro Guitars Tech's Most Hated Things. And again, the video link will be in the description. And I watched it 5 times before I did any of this. And so that's how I strung my Jasmine S35, my $10 dreadnought that I found at a yard sale in May in Chicago, Illinois of 2026, and it had 5 strings, and with 6 it's luscious. It may be a poor man's Taylor, no doubt about that. So in the process of doing this, as I turn a few pages, in the process of doing this I did 1 string, and I learned some things about how well I did that 1 string. And I think part of the problem in doing that 1 string is I realized that the length within it was incorrect. If you could actually see this well, you would see that the wraps on this are like 2, and the wraps on this are like 3 on the rest of the bass side. So what did I do? How did I do this? I used some old strings that I had hanging around. They were 10 to 20 years old. Fender Phosphor Bronze. So those are my supplies. Fender Phosphor Bronze string pack. I'll call this a supply also. This is a Dunlop 65 formula number 65. It's meant for the guitar itself. It's not meant for the fretboard, but in a pinch you can use it for the fretboard, so I used that. So let's talk about the tools that I used. Next time I will use safety glasses. I'm going to find a pair and use them. I certainly use bifocals for my up-close work. I used the Music Nomad Grip 1 tool, and it looks like this. And what does it have? It has this cutting thing, which was very effective, this cutting tool. It had this for pulling out. This area for pulling out pins, which worked really well. And the winder didn't work for me at all, but I think that maybe that's because, it's the first time I ever did it, so I can't blame them. In the future, what might I get? There's little mirrors that you can get to look on the inside, using a mirror to look on the inside of your guitar. I might like to have that. I might like to have a small vacuum cleaner, because I have a Hohner HW400 over there that has some stuff rattling around, and I think it's loose glue or something, and I wish I could vacuum it out before I redo it. And having a flashlight, I had one on hand, a small one, that helps. So that's optional for the future. So I wanted to go discuss this. It's really hard to do this one person to video everything. I did one string, and then I did the other 5. And so these are some of my notes on it. Again, while I was doing it, I wished I had safety glasses. And one thing I learned is that not all strings came out easily from the pinholes. So, I actually learned about pinholes. So these are the pins, and these are the pinholes. And you're supposed to take the tool like this, and where's that thing? I don't know. It's something like this. You pop them out like that. And it worked for most of them. But there were a few that wouldn't pop out nicely, and you don't want to lose these things. So you want to put them in a little bowl off to the side. One bridge pin was stuck, and I took a tiny regular flat edge screwdriver to pry it up ever so gently. I didn't want to damage anything. Pried it up just a little bit, then I was able to pull it out. And you cut the strings. I did one string at a time. When I've taken my guitars to a local guy who's very good in Chicago, he cuts everything. Bang, 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 bang. He cuts 6 strings at once. But he's done this for, Lord knows, 30 years. I just did one string at a time, and that was good enough for me. Now, when you do one string, I recommend that you hold, if you're going to cut here, for example, that you hold it somewhere down here, and you cut it so the strings don't flop around and hit you in the face. And then when this is all done, when I had enough room on the fretboard, then I gently took the Dunlop 65, whose purpose is not fretboards, but the guitar itself. But in a pinch you can use it, so I put it on the fretboard and I wiped it and tried to make it clean, maybe moisten it just a little bit. Now here's a really important point. So what's happened already is I've cut off one string. I could have cut off 6, but I didn't. And what you do is, and this is a mistake I made when I first did one string. When I did the 5, I re-watched the video that's in the description. And what I learned is that, at least on this dreadnought, each tuning head has a little hole for threading. So there's a hole to thread. And so before I got to this point, before I started stringing a particular note, what I would do is make sure that the hole was like this. I call it vertical. It was parallel to the fretboard. Why? Because that way I could just thread it right through. I didn't want to go make a corner on the darn thing. So I made sure that all of my tuner machines, before I put on a string, were vertical like this, so I could just thread right through them. It saved time. It made it more efficient. It made it a cleaner job as I turn another page. I think I take too many notes. It probably comes back from my computer trading days. So let's see. This looks a bit awkward. So first, you thread one string first. And I did mine incorrectly, as I said. It wasn't bad, just not my best. And that's because I didn't understand that I was supposed to pull through and pull back one fret. That was really important learning. So then I started doing the other strings. Once again, Luthier Ben Johnson of Atlanta, I think, talks about that in the video that I will embed. So all my tuning machines are vertical, so I can thread them easily. And always when you thread, you pull back one fret worth. And that doesn't matter what string it is. You always pull back one fret worth. And people think that's an incredibly good idea from what I've seen. So you pull back one fret, and then after you string it and you pull it back, you bend up the string. You bend it up here. And so that's kind of like your break point. And then you hold it down with your thumb or whatever you can, thumb or index finger, and then you wind. You wind the string in the same direction you would tighten it regardless of which side it's on. Now, when I did this, it worked fairly well, but unfortunately, I couldn't get the winder to work. I don't know if it was me, but I couldn't wind it effectively, so I just did it by hand, and it worked just fine. I did it by hand. It was probably slower than if I had wound it using this part of this tool, but like I said, it didn't work. And so you keep winding on that string until you feel the tension. You make sure it's coming down the nut perfectly. You can hear the sound. You can hear what it's doing. And then when you think you're in the neighborhood, put on the tuner and then tune it so it's perfect. And so that's how I did one string. And you tighten and then begin tuning until it's the correct tone. And so what's the summary in all this? Maybe do one string at first so you do it correctly. Wear safety glasses. And the most important thing is estimating string length. So when you thread it through, whatever string it is, when you thread it through, you grab it by the nut, pull back 1 fret, crimp up, hold down with your thumb or index finger, and wind. Don't forget, when you wind, you have to wind this way. On this side, you're winding forward, but on the treble side, you have to wind backwards. It's backwards. How many times have you looked at a used guitar and you try to tune it correctly and it might snap because someone tuned it badly? Another piece of advice is that for a beginner, you can see that here the wraps have gone inside out. See, inside out, inside out, inside out. And on the treble side, they are the same. They go inside and out, inside and out, inside and out. They're just going in a different direction. So I thank you for stopping by. I'm going to play on this guitar that I like so much. You don't have to listen, but I hope that you subscribe or like. And I'm a little breathless right now. I'm trying to do this in one take. But it's so empowering when you actually, can you really call yourself a guitarist if you cannot string your own guitar? So we'll do some Plastic Jesus just to end this. Not perfect, but good enough. I happen to think this Jasmine S35 is a poor man's Taylor. And I think I can say that because I own a Taylor in the 114 CE. So that's it. My name is Richard. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments. Tell me what I missed. If you liked it, let me know. I'd like to carry on the conversation. So please visit my website, Shoshin Guitarist, Shoshin Guitarist.com. And be bold. Don't be afraid. Don't keep paying people to, string your guitars. You can string it. Setting up a guitar with intonation is a different thing. It's a little bit more complex, but you can string a guitar. It's not going to explode on you. Just wear your safety glasses and you'll be fine. Thank you so much for dropping by and have a great day.